Hello there, and welcome to the Out of Time Film Podcast, where we talk film, TV, games, and all that jazz like there's no tomorrow. My name is Tom, and as always, I'm joined with my co-host today, John.
Hey, it's me! That's right.
Can we just take a moment to realise how flawlessly I delivered that intro?
Thank you. We gotta make the intro different each time, you know what I mean? Like,
definitely. You
gotta do the thing, and I gotta go, hey me, it's me!
Hello! Yeah, so every time you say, hello, it's me.
Hello, it's me, and you think, who's me? I am you, I am me.
For those of you at home, it is John. We're not tricking you, there's no trickery going on here.
No trickery. It's no Loki stuff, no dreams, no nothing, and yeah.
I'll tell you what, I've dreamed.
Christopher
Nolan. I watched a video on Inception this morning, actually.
Which one?
It was a video about Robert Fisher and his kind of journey through the film. It was a good one.
Oh,
yeah, it was a good one.
Right. Well, I've been watching like a lot of like Memento analysis films.
Ah, yes.
And yeah, it's great to watch. Honestly, yeah, it's just my favorite film, and it's just great to watch something that is analyze that is something so complicated but like dark at the same time. But yes,
yeah. Well, we got some cool stuff to talk about this week. Main segment is going to be WandaVision episodes 1 and 2, which aired on Disney Plus on this past Friday. We've also got obviously our news of the week. Some quite interesting stuff. Some game news. Some kind of, I guess, recasting news. I don't know how you'd call that, but we'll.
Oh no, that's going to be the new trend. No!
You got casting news, you got recasting news, you got uncasting news. It's all casting. Well, if we get straight into it, the Snyder Cut is going to get a Blu Ray and 4K HD release. So as we were saying, we said it even on the pod that we really hope that it will get a Blu Ray release, 4K Ultra HD release, and it is.
Yeah.
So that might mean like that's the way that people in the UK will get it, or people in countries who don't have HBO Max.
Yes. So when do you think it's coming out? Do you think it's coming out shortly, Snyder Cut, after like Snyder Cut, or?
Oh, that's a good question. I would wager that they would maybe leave it a week after the 4th episode comes out.
Well, maybe like I think like we've been in lockdown and everything.
Yeah.
But I think that the films that we haven't able to seen. I think the Snyder Cut will be on Blu-ray straight away because of how Zach's been working on this.
Yeah, so, I don't see why not.
Yeah, and it's coming out in March, right? So by this time he will be finishing the film, and then the film he's going to give out the film in Blu-ray form, and then 4K Ultra, and I think it's possible it will come out March. It'll come out in maybe April or May.
Well, I feel like it would have to come out at the very earliest, like when the 4th episode comes out, because it can't come out when the 1st episode comes out, because I feel like that kind of like renders the whole point of having it split into 4 parts like pointless.
Yeah. So but the film is not coming on like the big screen, but it's coming on HBO Max, and it's on streaming services, so normally we will get them straight away, I
tell you what is on a streaming service now. Wonder Woman 84 has been added to Amazon Prime, but do you know how much it is to rent?
15 quid?
Yeah, here in the UK it's £15 to rent.
Why?
So that's quite steep. So I mean, I will leave it up to you about whether you want to pay that price for us to talk about it on the podcast. If not, I'm sure there's other things we can talk about next week.
So if you're wondering, can I play my Blu-ray or 4K Ultra? You can, believe it or not. So, if you go on Xbox One, which I have, I tested with the Alien, the first movie Alien.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool, and I played it, and I was like, okay, let's try the 4K Ultra, and it works.
Does it?
It works wonders.
Does it?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Wait, what do you have on 4K Ultra HD?
Yeah.
But what film do you have on it?
Just Alien, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
Because
Brilliant. Wow. Cool. Yeah. That's great. I was wondering that. So.
Yeah. So for those who are excited for Snyder Cut and you want to get it on the clearest.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point because they just re-released the Lord of the Rings trilogy in 4K Ultra HD. I'm sure you've seen it. Have you seen like the new they released it with like this really like sweet like box art. So I want to when I leave my home, get a new one.
I leave my home because we're in lockdown already. So
no, I mean like when I move out, like I don't.
Oh, when you move out. Oh, yeah. I thought you were like, I think I want to get it again. Oh, I'm just gonna watch it during lockdown. But yeah, I think that's a good idea to grab something to. Yeah, so stay tuned for the Snyder Cut because we're gonna be talking about it.
Ooh, I'm very excited.
We're very excited because this is a thing that we've been waiting for nearly 4 years.
Oh yeah, like I think it. We're coming up on 3.5 years or something now.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been steep. Okay, so our next piece of news is that Green Arrow and the Canaries, which is I know you haven't seen Arrow, so I'll give you a little explanation. Is a spin-off series to Arrow. Which is set in the future, and it was poised to come out, but the CW have now cancelled it. And I just wanted to say that I want to voice my opinions on this because they wasted like so much of the final season of Arrow setting up this spin-off, and now they've cancelled it. It feels like such a waste of time, and I just like as such a big fan of Arrow and like the shows are actually starting to begin in the next week. Batwoman starts again, but as such a big fan, I'm just really annoyed that they spent all this time and now they're not even doing the show. So I just thought I'd throw that one out there.
Yeah, just get out the way. Yeah, waste of time. You feel like. You want it's a show that what if like fans were like, oh yeah, Canaries, but then it's just get cancelled. That must be like something that is like a waste of time, but also just like right.
Well, the 9th episode of the final season. So like the episode before the final episode was literally just a backdoor pilot for the Green Arrow and the Canaries, which just was like, why are we doing this and not doing like the actual like real plot line? I was very disappointed.
Yeah, that's fine. We will all expect great things, and it just gets cancelled. But
well, I never wanted it in the first place. So this is kind of like, on the one hand, I'm glad that it's not happening, but on the other hand, I am a bit annoyed because it's spent so long. Like, I was never interested in this.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Like, the Arrowverse is already so big, and in my opinion, after Arrow ended, I'm ready for it to wind down. Supergirl's ending, Black Lightning's ending. I'm ready for everything to just wind down and then start something new. But never know what they're gonna do.
So, okay, that's it for the Arrow. No, there's more to the Arrowverse, but
there will be more, but hopefully, I mean, Flash has got season 7 and maybe 8 and maybe 9 coming. So, I guess it depends on so many factors. Who knows? Okay, so we've got a little delay here. Haven't you just missed the film delays?
Oh,
you just missed them all.
Delays.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, the pain and the sorrow that goes through my heart. I just want to watch the films.
Well, I mean, it's only Morbius. Don't worry, it's only Morbius. Not too bad. Morbius has been delayed from March to October.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not that bothered about Morbius.
I'm not.
No, yeah.
I mean, the pain on the side is not going through my heart now, but yeah, true. Not too bothered really, but anyway, on to the next news.
Yeah, right. Not really that bad. So another thing that hasn't been delayed, but has actually been moved up Godzilla versus Kong has been moved from May to March. So they've actually moved the release date up on that one, which is odd, very odd. That
is
what a twist, I guess.
I'm confused.
Yeah, I know that is. I didn't expect that, but cool.
Did you know what's happening now? Like everything that's going around, but I think maybe everything will get better by the end of March. But I don't know. But,
well, I mean, as long as we get to watch No Time to Die and
No Time to Die, Fast and Furious 9, The King's Man, that man, and that.
Yeah, there's a lot coming. Obviously, we've got an episode on that a couple of weeks ago. Most anticipated films of 2021. So check that out if you haven't already. So there was quite a bit of Lucasfilm games news. So I'll start off with there is going to be an Indiana Jones game made by
Ubisoft. I think
no, it's not Ubisoft.
Bethesda.
It's Bethesda, but to a greater extent, it's Machine Games who are behind the Wolfenstein games, which I hear are quite good. So yeah, they're making an Indiana Jones game. So you say who? Doom.
Got Doom and Doom Eternal that made those. So.
Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, so it's my phone's going off. But I think that's quite exciting. I think Indiana Jones game would be cool. However, like video games already have Uncharted and Tomb Raider, which are already like Indiana Jones. Like
yes,
they're already based on Indiana Jones. So
game necessary. I mean, sure, but there's a lot of things that has been happening. Like the Uncharted games are like the top tier of the great games are there. But Lara Croft, I mean, sure, Lara Croft is great. But then you got Indiana Jones.
Well, it's all based off Indiana Jones. So like
it is, yes. But then the game, the Indiana Jones will be the thing that will be the mostly based on the Indiana Jones. Like what you said, like they're all based on Indiana Jones. Now this game's going to be based mostly all on Indiana Jones. Inception level right here.
Yeah, right. It's I don't know, like cool. I guess I might play it. I might not. I recently rewatched all 4 Indiana Jones films in like I don't know November or something. And I mean like I think I like them all to some degree, but like obviously like I think the franchise, like obviously Kingdom of the Crystal Skull isn't as good as the others, and I think like in my opinion Temple of Doom is my favorite, but I just don't really. I'm not that excited about where we can go in the franchise. They're making a 5th film. Like, there's a game. It's like it's not really something that really massively piques my interest.
Yeah. So I'm not excited for this. Are you excited for this?
Whatever. Kind of. Not really.
Whatever.
Okay. But you know what I am exciting for? Check out this segue. We're going to get an open world Star Wars game. Segue? So Lucasfilm Games, part of their rebranding, they didn't just announce an Indiana Jones game. They also announced an open world Star Wars game. The EA exclusivity deal with Star Wars is over. Doesn't mean that EA won't still make Battlefronts or Jedi Fallen Order 2 or whatever. But this is going to be Ubisoft developing an open world Star Wars game. I am very excited. Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yes, so like the new Star Wars game.
There is nothing about when this is going to be set or anything like that. The creators did say like that it doesn't. They said that it doesn't matter. No, they didn't. What did they say? What am I thinking of? They said it doesn't have to connect to anything else. So this could be like a totally separated thing, like however they want to do it. I think this would be really cool.
What's your predictions? Okay, let's get your prediction and my prediction. Okay, what's your prediction of this game going to be?
I think it's going to be a High Republic game, just because they've just started the High Republic. You know, they have plans for all the books and stuff.
Yeah, did you get the book?
I got the book. I haven't started reading it yet. Because foolishly, remember how I told you that I pre-ordered it and Amazon said it's going to come late?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it came on the right day, but I'd already started reading something else. So I have to finish that book first. And it didn't help that I haven't read this week because I don't know, I kind of fell out of it. But yeah, I have to read that book. But I think that because, you know, they've got plans for the TV show, they've got plans for the books, the comics, all that stuff, maybe a film somewhere down the line. Hey, a game in the High Republic era sounds cool. What do you think?
That is cool. Like, they're setting up a new era for the High Republic. What do I think this game's gonna be? I think the game's gonna be like I think this might be too early for it, but a Mandalorian game.
Ooh, that would be cool. That would be cool.
You know, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
And then combine Star Wars, you get Mandalorian.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I like that idea. Like going around collecting bounties. Hunter.
Yeah, but I feel like I wanted a bit, not too Rockstar, but like,
well, Ubisoft do. They did Assassin's Creed, didn't they?
They did.
So I think maybe something similar to that.
In the past, they made really good Assassin's Creed games, what I've heard, and especially when I played Origins, which was a great game to play.
Yeah, right.
And I think they can make a Mandalorian game because of it could be the
definitely. Would you want it to be a game that centers around the Mandalorian, like any existing Mandalorian characters, or like a new character, or maybe like you can make your own Mandalorian character? What would you kind of want?
I think, the cool thing is that you can make your own Mandalorian character.
I think that would be cool, yeah. It's difficult.
That would be cool.
The only thing difficult with that is that Star Wars, like, everything that they release, it's very, like, they make they make a point of it all being part of this timeline, this canon. So, like, having a story without, like, a main character, it would be a little bit tricky, I think. But I'm sure there's a way around that. Yeah, that would be the only thing that I think might be a bit of a hurdle for them to jump over.
Yeah. So, I'm pretty interested to see what this game is going to be.
Definitely. I mean, Jedi Fallen Order, which is a game that I cannot stress if you haven't played it. I know you haven't, John, but if anyone at home hasn't played it, it is incredible. One of my favourite games of all time. Definitely the best Star Wars game I've played. I mean, it might not beat... I mean, it probably does beat Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga, but, I mean, it's up there with that. Definitely, if you haven't played it, go and play it. I don't know, it might be cheaper than it was when it came out, but it is... What a hoot. What a hoot it is.
What a hoot. Yeah, and I started playing it.
But yeah, so I think that game... that kind of toyed with the idea of open world. Like, you could travel to different planets, and it was fairly open world, And so I think, why not, like that? I think I had so much fun playing that game that I would be I'd love to have that kind of be condensed into, well, not condensed, but expanded into a whole world or worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our final piece of news. This is what I'm going to call recasting news. Deadline is reporting that Chris Evans is reportedly going to return as Captain America in a future MCU project, not in his own Captain America film or show, but in something else as a kind of side character. Chris Evans has said that he, that this is news to him and that he doesn't know anything about this. However, it's still like up in the air because people have denied things in the past. But yeah, what do you think about the prospect of Chris Evans coming back as Captain America?
I don't know.
Well, I'm of two minds of this. Like, I think that Captain America had the perfect ending in Endgame,
He did.
Right, I think his character was served so well. I think it was. I think everyone. So if you think like the big three characters whose arcs were wrapped up, Tony Stark, Captain America, and Black Widow. I think all of their arcs were really well rounded off. I think that Captain America's was executed the best. And all of his films and all of his appearances have added to that. Not everything. Obviously, his relationship with Sharon Carter makes it a little bit weird and incestuous. But I think that everything has moved to a point where that was perfect. So if they bring him back as an old man, I just don't think there's a reason for that, and I just don't think that I would be satisfied. I think that the idea of him going into retirement is much more interesting than anything else. However, if they do a story that is set like in the past, say like in between Civil War and Infinity War, and Captain America comes back with like the beard and stuff, I think that would be like brilliant. What about you? You just did put things I didn't think about Captain America's Chris Evans. I mean, I think so here's my thing. Robert Downey Jr. will come back. I guarantee you, he will come back with a... Oh, definitely. I agree with you.
Yeah, but with the Chris Evans, maybe it's just that. I read like a Falcon comic somewhere, and there was like the old Captain America.
Yeah,
but he was like still alive and kicking. Like he can still punch.
Yeah,
and just
right. In the comics, that is a thing that he's still around. But
look at him in Endgame.
That man can barely carry the shield.
He's like,
it's like his arm's gonna fall off at any point.
Here you go. Here's the shield.
Well, another thing as well is that like you bring up a good point about Robert Downey Jr. because like Chris Evans, I think that like he has a much more promising career ahead of him, like in like more unique projects than Robert Downey Jr. does. Because I think that Robert Downey Jr. has been typecast as Iron Man, and like since leaving the role, he made Dolittle, which I think universally everyone hated, and then like he's got Sherlock Holmes 3 coming, which are like like hit or miss for various people, but like I think his role as Iron Man has shaped his career and his kind of like fame, and I don't know, I think he will come back. I just don't know if Chris Evans needs to, because he can, like, he's already done Knives Out, he did Defending Jacob, and like loads of like new stuff that he's great in, so I think there is like potential for him to do like more unique stuff than Robert Downey Jr.
Wait, you didn't say that. Wait, did you say it was going on HBO Max? Godzilla vs Kong. I'm sorry. Did you say it was going on HBO Max?
Godzilla v Kong. Yeah. That it's going to be in cinemas and on HBO Max.
Oh, I thought you said only cinemas and HBO Max.
No. It's both.
Oh right, okay. But
are you on Twitter again, John?
Well, I had to check just in case.
Oh, okay. I see how it is. I'm not good enough for you. I see.
Listen. We had to double check. I had to double check just in case, man. I'm sorry. Listen.
I can't believe you.
I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
right.
sorry, man. Listen, I wanted to double check just in case we missed any piece of news. I'm like, have you discussed this? No, we haven't. Not yet.
Wait, what?
The Daredevil stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I guess that leads us into our next piece of news then. Comicbook.com are reporting that Charlie Cox has filmed Spider-Man 3 as Daredevil and has wrapped filming. So, like, I think that is, like, for me, that is awesome because, like, I think the idea of like Spider-Man being on the run and like having to defend himself, and him literally being defended by Matt Murdock and him teaming up with Daredevil, I think that is probably the best idea that we've heard from Spider-Man 3 so far.
Yeah, and interesting. Well, I think I know the plot already. Like,
okay.
Daredevil, like, trying to defend Spider-Man, and then everyone's like, "Oh, where's the other Spider-Man?" And then he goes to Doctor Strange, he finds the other Spider-Man, and then accidentally he brought one of the villains out, or the villains out, just, I don't know. And then, boom, you got the old, like, Spider-Verse film, you got all these Spider-Man go, "Oh, no," and then that's it.
Hey, I like that, you know. I think that's... that seems like a decent way to do it. Clear his name by proving that he isn't Spider-Man, and that there are others. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I still think that there is just a danger that this film is going to be so cluttered.
Very cluttered.
So I am, I'm worried about that because, like, I don't know, like, obviously they've proved that they can do it in Infinity War and Endgame and even Civil War. So yeah, I'm worried, but I'm also like, I have a little bit of faith in it. Yeah.
I feel like, is this gonna happen? It's gonna cluster. Yeah, it is gonna be cluttered because there's so many actors and so many characters that you want to go through in this film. But then, yeah, it's I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can only hope that it will work out well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that leads us quite well into our main segment. So speaking of the MCU, we're going to talk about WandaVision episodes 1 and 2. We are going full spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, go and watch it on Disney+. Go
watch it. It's not only long,
it's about like 25 minutes an episode. So I'll throw it over to you. What did you think of the first 2 episodes of WandaVision?
Right. It just felt a bit empty.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So let me fully explain. So you're watching it. I mean, I love the premise. I think like the start, like the episode, like, oh, here's WandaVision. No, that's the second one. It was like a new couple went in town. Yeah, into this village. Here's Wanda and Vision and
the fact that you remember the opening is insane. I can't even remember at all. I remember the visuals. Very impressive.
Yeah, I remember the visuals. Like, they're just driving down the car, and then they got into the house.
It's very 50s, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very 50s. Is it 50s or 60s?
I think the first episode is 50s and the second is 60s.
And then next week is 70s,
yeah.
And then next week after that is 80s.
Yeah.
And then next week... it's very sitcom-y, but I think it's really good they do a sitcom because you actually laughing track, oh haha, but it kind of like adds to the reality of like Wanda's vision.
Oh, I see what you did there. Nice.
Yeah. I see what I did there. Anyway, so it's a very slow start. I mean, I feel like, what do we? I mean, it's about the questions like the audience think. Why are they here? What is this? What is this reality they're into? Because the Vision we know is dead. Unless they somehow have the Soul Stone and Marvel confusing. But what I've seen is that this TV show will set up the idea of Doctor Strange's madness of the multiverse of madness.
Doctor Strange and the madness of the multiverse. Hey, it works. It works.
Sure. So the story in this episode was that Vision so something on his calendar. There's going to be something important happening, but they have a different idea of what this thing was going to happen tonight in their thing. So Vision goes to work, and Wanda meets up this woman called Agnes, and Agnes is like, oh yeah, it's about this about husband, oh yes, about women. So this was like set in the 50s, like all about the things, like different.
I think it did like that really well. Like it felt very much like a 50s and 60s like sitcom.
Yeah,
this is what the plot would be. You know, like in the 50s, it's like, oh, the boss and his wife are coming round for tea. In the 60s, it's like we're doing a talent show, and it did feel like very genuine in that.
Yeah,
in that
very
sense.
genuine. So then we got onto like Vision working on this computer place, and then this is where like this bit like get a bit like questioning, you know, like why did we work here? What is this? Like, what is this? Or maybe that's just adds to the comedy. I don't know. And then Vision realizes, oh no, Mr. Hart's coming to my house. Woo. So then Wanda's like, oh, something's happening tonight. Oh, something's gonna happen tonight. Ooh, you know, all that jazz. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Oh, yes, that. When a B and another B. Okay.
Wait, it's I don't think it's two B's. I think it's a bird and a bee.
Really?
Yeah, it's a bird and a bee, John.
Oh.
Did you not? Do I have to teach you about the bird and the bees?
No one told me that.
No, it's not two bees. It's a bird and a bee.
Oh. Shut up. You showing off all your things and ideas about. Oh yes, about
my adult
reproduction. Knowledge. Anyway,
reproduction.
They came to the house and like, oh no, Wanda. Oh, and and then Wanda was like wearing this very looking dress, and I could tell there's a lot of people on Twitter being simps about this. Like,
I
wonder. So anyway, and then Vision said, "Oh yes, that is a Sokovian dress." So we this goes back to like the idea where Wanda was in Sokovia.
Yeah.
That's a really cool. That's a good callback to Age of Ultron.
Yeah, it doesn't forget her kind of heritage, because since like I don't think they have really like it hasn't really like
developed.
It hasn't really made her character since, I guess maybe you could argue, Civil War, but kind of since Age of Ultron.
Like I don't like the idea like they decided to go from like to something like she's from Sokovia. That was like the biggest thing that happened to her. But then she's like, "Oh, hey Vision, do you wanna hang out with me?" Like, sure, okay. So they got through the dinner, and then this was like, where's the tea? Where's the dinner? Good impression right there. And then
fun fact for you guys who didn't know, John actually played the guy in the show. It was actually him the whole time.
Oh, you shouldn't tell. Oh man.
I ruined it. I'm sorry.
Tom, I should have told them. Oh man. Anyway, thank you guys. You see me in the credits. It's Comedy John on Twitter.
For your consideration, the Oscar nominee for Best Actor goes to.
Just see me on the Oscars. I'll just go up, and you'll see me in my Zoom meeting, just going up like, "Thank you."
I have a video of you with my Oscar from Bloody Man and Two Swords. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember that. That was a great time.
We have those you don't know, we have like a series of documentaries we made when we were younger.
Oh,
and one of them includes John's acceptance speech.
We might. We don't know if we want to upload it, but they're masterpieces. But
maybe we'll do a reaction video to them, because
we should
yeah, definitely
in the future when this channel gets like a bit big. So I thought
you're getting a bit big. Earlier in this week we got 90 subscribers.
90,
but then someone unsubscribed.
Yeah,
we're back. We're back on 89 at the moment.
I've been busy just doing stuff.
Yeah, we're back on 89 at the moment.
Oh, 89! Nice. Yeah. So then, let's go back to WandaVision. So then, Wanda's got the tea, and like, oh no, I've got to use my magic powers, and then Vision sings the song, yakety yakety.
That was funny. I thought that was great.
Yeah, that was fun. I like that. That was like old sitcom. Like I thought, yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I think one of the things like in the MCU as a whole, one of the things that I really, I'm not a fan of is the comedy. I think that a lot of the comedy doesn't land. I think there are some like standout films. I think like James Gunn writes The Guardians really really well, and all their dialogue is always like pretty like legitimately funny. But there are like stuff like Professor Hulk and some of the Fat Thor stuff in Endgame, especially. Like I'm not a fan of a lot of the comedy in like those films, but I did think that the comedy worked really well in this stuff because it was just these actors having so much fun with this material and giving it this like genuinely this vibe of the 50s and 60s sitcoms, which I thought was great. Apart from a couple of, like, it didn't all land, but I thought that like the spirit behind it was much more genuine than like the normal kind of like, like play certain things for cheap laughs. I thought like especially like Ragnarok is one of the films that like it presents like these nice lovely moments to you and then it snatches them away and it's like, aha, no, it's a comedy thing. So I think sometimes, but there are a couple of things like when they did like the whole like Stark toaster thing.
Oh yeah, so those are really good commercials. To be honest, like you go in and like, oh, what's this? So the commercial, when the Stark thing was like something going to be like a bomb or something, like go off.
I knew that would. I knew that commercial was going to be a Stark thing. Like at the moment it did it, I was like, "This is going to be a Stark thing," but I didn't like. I know why they put it in there, I guess, but it didn't. It just didn't. It felt like it was just an excuse to name drop Tony Stark or just Stark, or in the second episode it felt like a reason to name drop Strucker or Hydra. Like it didn't really, like in my opinion, it didn't really feel like it had like a proper, like it did anything for me. It was like a cheap joke. It's like, remember Tony Stark? So I wasn't a giant fan of that, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, sure. So then then they got the dinner ready, and then this creepy moment was kicking in. So, Mr. Hart was like, "Oh, tell me where you're from. Where do you have kids, or where do you have kids?" And then this and that. So then, WandaVision like, "Oh, I don't know. Are they Len and Shelby? Because anyway,
Lenny.
So Mr. Hart was like, "Tell me." And then Mr. Hart just chokes on his food, like, oh, okay. And then he just
it was very creepy, wasn't it?
I love this. Like, this is like the bit I really like. So the camera just changes. The camera just changes like the perception. Like it was like on the like it's far back, but then it just gets closer. Like it's some horror film. Like
I thought there were. I feel like in general my favorite moments of the show were when the actual like facade began to break down. Like it just felt like it was genuinely like creepy, and it was like that was the most interesting stuff to me. I thought like the other stuff was like fun, but it wasn't really like didn't really do much for me. It was those moments, especially at the end of episode 2, which I guess we'll talk about when we get around to that. But I feel like that was like there was some like stuff that felt very kind of like it reminded me of Life on Mars. I was listening to a podcast where they said that it reminded them of Life on Mars, and I think that there's a point to be made there. But like I did think it felt so much more like deep, and it was like actually like it had an opportunity to say certain things about the characters and where they are at in like the actual world, not just like this sitcom world. I thought that was great.
So there is something going on. We definitely do. So then Wanda and Vision they're just like, oh, Wanda says, oh, help him. So then they know something's going on. They know something's going on, but they're not like, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like they're subconsciously aware of it.
Yeah,
but I don't think they're actually like. I think they know, but they don't know. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So the thing ends, and then And then they just go out, and they're, oh, look at this door knocker. That's a great door knocker. And then that's it, really. So then the thing's filmed there, like, oh, we are a very odd couple, aren't we? Oh yeah, we never said that again. And then video ends. But then, dun dun dun. They're somehow watching it through a screen.
Yeah, someone was watching it. Yeah, I mean, I guess that was like I think that stuff was the most interesting. Like what this is for the real world is what intrigues me the most.
This is weird because if are they in the screen, or is someone like projecting in their mind watching it?
Well, I mean, I guess from the trailers and like from everything that I'd heard before the show, I kind of just thought that it was Wanda. I thought it would be a House of M kind of situation where Wanda is creating this reality, and of course it still could be, but I think it right now it looks like this has been created by someone else, or maybe that it is being influenced by someone else. They are taking advantage of it, which I think provides for some interesting concepts in the future.
So my prediction is that wait. So no, UK.
Yeah, I'm just clicking to the beat. Go on.
So what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So it's someone projecting like their own mind, but then I remember that. Wait, this is setting up the multiverse of madness.
Yeah.
So
the madness of multiverse.
Oh, shut up. So then I was thinking. So this is a town where maybe Wanda is making everything old and wanting to like have a future, or a place for herself.
Yeah, I think maybe Wanda is kind of creating this kind of like American like fantasy for herself. Like even if you think of the end of the second episode, like she like becomes pregnant and like maybe she like wants to have this kind of like perfect life with her and Vision. I reckon that is kind of what might be going on in her head, because I feel like she definitely has some sort of influence and control over what's going. Only some, like obviously, like I think a lot of it is out of her control, but there were like some points that you saw that she's the one who knows what's going on,
Yeah. So it's very weird. So Tom, would you like to cover episode 2?
Yes, of course I would. So episode 2 opens with this. It was more of a 60s style opening with the like animated characters. And I thought that was great. I thought the idea that each episode doesn't like has like a genuine like in-universe like opening that reflects the time period. Like I thought that was just super wacky and cool. And so yeah, so the premise is like it's the same like neighborhood, same like kind of like supporting cast, but it's just like the 60s now. And so in this episode, Wanda and Vision are practicing for their magic act talent show, which again is like in the last episode, like it's exactly what you'd expect a 60s sitcom to be. A talent show episode is like a very kind of like a basic classic storyline, similar to like the boss and his wife coming around for tea and like hijinks ensue. It sounds like a very similar kind of thing. And so you kind of like two subplots. You got like Wanda, who is kind of like experiencing some kind of glitches in reality. So she sees like this like red toy helicopter like amidst all the black and white in her like front yard, which again, like in my opinion, the best parts of the show was when like people were seeing these weird things happening, and like you kind of saw that like the kind of like happy facade they're putting on is only like face value, and like they are like actually like really broken inside. It's kind of what I got from that. And then you have her going to this like meeting with like loads of like moms, like talking about like the talent show and stuff, like about organizing it, and she's like trying to like fit in, and she's not doing a very good job, and she at the end she talks to the what was the main woman called, was it Dottie or something?
Dottie, yes.
Yeah,
Dottie.
she speaks to Dottie, and the radio starts like freaking out, and you can hear someone saying like Wanda, Wanda. And then Dottie like cuts herself. You see like the red blood, and that was really cool. I thought like every time that the show kind of breaks reality, it felt like this is like the most interesting part of what is going on. And then on the other side of that, you got Vision, who is like going to like the neighborhood watch meeting, and he kind of like has to like let loose among the men on the street, and it was interesting because like Vision is very like a wound tight, and obviously he's an android, doesn't even eat. So there was like they had to like they clearly wanted to do the whole like he gets drunk thing, and they did that by having him eat like this chewing gum, and then like there was this really cool animated thing where the chewing gum got like mixed up in the cogs. I thought that was great. And then the magic show itself, like he is like essentially drunk, and I gotta say Paul Bettany was such a standout on these 2 episodes. I thought that he was like hilarious. Especially in the way that he did that whole drunk sequence, and he had so much more like charisma and personality than he does like in other things, and I think even so it's a different kind of charisma and personality that you see to other MCU protagonists, which I think is good. And so they perform the talent show, and like they get the tricks wrong, but then Wanda manages to make it right again using their her powers and all that. And then at the end of the episode, I think it's really cool because they go outside and they see a beekeeper come out of the sewers.
Yeah.
Which was really creepy. It felt like this kind of like Stephen King horror kind of thing. I did expect someone we know, someone noticeable to be under there. Like my first thought was like, is this going to be Quicksilver or like Ultron or something? Like someone from outside, someone who we know that they're like surprises. But it wasn't. It provided a good opportunity for Wanda to. This is what I thought. Like Wanda actually has a grip on reality through this. Like she said no, and then like the whole thing rewinded back into the house. So like this is what I kind of feel like she does have this control over it, and maybe this is why she is creating it, maybe subconsciously, because she was like wasn't happy with that, and she wants this picturesque life. And then they find out that she's pregnant, and that
was very, very quick.
Yeah.
You know, like did they? Never mind.
I guess that was like a kind of like a magic thing where it was like she's just changing things to make it like more picturesque, and then it all changes into color, which I thought was a great way to end the episode. Like everything kind of like transitions into color, which I think was really fun. But yeah, I don't know. I think like it all like works, but it all just felt like setup. It felt like setup for things to come, and I don't really feel like I learned anything new about the characters. I feel like I was speaking to my girlfriend about this, and she said that you could totally switch out the main characters for anyone, and apart from like the magic elements, you know, apart from their powers, it could really be anyone, and that doesn't really that doesn't really sit well with me. I don't think. I think like, you know, what I want to see is their characters furthered more in the sense of like they are both gone through like this trauma from Infinity War and Endgame, and I just want to know what comes of that. That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah. So it's very weird, but it's like a slow start to the show. I mean, there's like I wish there was like more weird things that are happening, because that's like more entertaining. Like to think like what is going on.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's what it looked like in the trailers, and that's what got me most excited about the show, was the fact that like it's wacky, but there's loads of weird stuff going on, and maybe it increases every episode.
So I hope so, because it's like you like Stranger Things. Like I love the weirdness of it. You know, like what the heck is going on? Like there's like like what I love about these weird shows, like they have answers to everything at the end of the season. Like that's what I like about like some mysteries. But so yeah, what do you think, Tommy? I thought these are great. it is a slow start to the TV show, but there was a great moments. But yeah, what do you think?
I thought it was a good start, but I did think it was a bit of a slow start, and considering it's been like so long since we've had any proper MCU content, it did feel a little bit like disappointing in that sense. I thought, however, I really genuinely hope that I eat my words on that. Like, I hope that I'm wrong, and that as it goes forward, the show does new and different things, because I think that is where my interests lie. And at the end of the day, I'm tired of the MCU, but if we're getting content from it, I at least want it to be good content. But yeah, I think from this, I'm not that if you compare this to I don't know, The Mandalorian, which was the last show coming out week by week. I was so, every time I watched it, I was like, oh my god, I want to rewatch Star Wars, I want to rewatch Season 1, I want to rewatch this episode, I want to know what happens next week. But this I just kind of was like, okay, I don't have a feeling I want to rewatch any of the MCU films. I don't necessarily, I'm not itching to find out what happens next. It just kind of didn't really make a huge impact on me, which I guess is fine for now. But as much as I prefer the weekly TV model. I think this one for me, I might have preferred it if I could have just binged it all at once. I don't really know, but it's slow beginnings, and I really hope the show gets much better, or at least more intriguing to me personally. But I did think these episodes were fun enough, and other people seem to like it, and I think that's good. I think everyone who loves the MCU as much as I used to deserves something satisfying after all this wait.
I agree. I think it's a show that we haven't got any MCU content, but it could be refreshing to see that they're doing something different. So the coming weeks we are still gonna talk WandaVision for the weekly viewing segment.
Yeah, so we'll do what we did with The Mandalorian. We'll take 10 minutes, 15 minutes a week. Probably less, because the WandaVision episodes are quite short. We'll take, as long as it takes to talk about it each week. I don't know how many episodes there are. I think 8, maybe a bit more. But however many there are, we'll talk about them, and then we will talk about them. Do you want to move on to the weekly viewing segment?
The viewing segment. Oh,
what have you watched this week?
So, I watched a documentary on my favorite artist. If you don't know Logic, so Logic, my favorite artist, who is such an inspiration.
What is the documentary called?
So the documentary is called Rapture, and it's a series, but I just only want to watch this one episode. So this episode, it's just Logic's talking about Logic. So it explains about his life, the way he is, and how he got inspiration into doing hip hop, and it's quite inspirational. You came from nowhere, from nothing to really huge. He did a lot of songs. If you don't know, he did the Suicide song, that he did, the 1-800 song, the 1-800 song, and it was quite really good that he did. So he did a lot of albums. He did the Under Pressure album. He did the Incredible True Story, Everybody, and all of that. And in 2020, this was not including the thing, but in 2020 he did his last album, No Pressure, which is a sequel to Under Pressure, and it was a brilliant send off. Not send off, but something to listen to Logic before he retires. So, but back to the documentary. So the documentary was really good, and if you're a huge hip hop nerd or something that you don't know all about this guy, I recommend it. And you don't need huge like hip hop knowledge to know where this guy has been doing or something. But he's been through a long way from the basement now to stadiums and arenas. So it's great to see him doing it. But yeah, it's a great documentary to watch. It's inspirational. I give it an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. So yeah.
Cool.
Tom?
That sounds good. Okay, so I watched a new film. So this is my second new film of 2021. It's called One Night in Miami. Okay, so this is the directorial debut of Regina King, who starred in many films, won Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars for If Beale Street Could Talk. She starred in the Watchmen TV show, so that's where you'll know her, John.
Yes, Watchmen. It's a great TV show. I recommend it. And Tom, we can watch it sometime because I got it on my PS, and because my PS is connected to my Apple TV, so then we can watch it. Like you can watch it over here. So
I've got it on Blu Ray.
Oh wait, what?
Yeah, I got it on Blu Ray for Christmas.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I got it. So I'll be able to watch that at some point.
Oh,
when I find time.
Oh, you're gonna enjoy it, man. You're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, so this is her directorial debut, and it's based off the play, but also based off a true story. And it is set on the night that Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, won the title for the very first time, and it is about Cassius Clay, Malcolm X, Sam Cooke, and Jim Brown. So obviously the boxer, what's the term? The civil rights leader, the singer, and the football and the NFL player. They all get together and they have like a little they think it's a party, and it just becomes this kind of discussion about like the way they use their work to inspire the black community, or make strides in the civil rights movement. Obviously, Malcolm X is very entrenched in all that, and it was incredibly powerful. It's one of those films that is it is a little slow. One of those films that's it's based off a play and it's a little bit slow, but you can more than make up for it because it has some incredible performances. Leslie Odom Jr., who plays will be most well known for playing Aaron Burr in Hamilton. He plays Sam Cooke, and he's probably him and Malcolm X. They have really good some really interesting discussions through it. Aldous Hodge, who is going to be playing Hawkman in Black Adam, plays Jim Brown, and the guy who plays Muhammad Ali is also incredible. Everyone is, and it's just a really powerful story about how these legends used their work to kind of help the black community in 1960s, which is when this is set. So a year before Malcolm X was assassinated, and so just before Cassius Clay joined the Nation of Islam and became Muhammad Ali, before many things, and it was just a beautiful and sometimes harrowing and sometimes it's always really powerful story. It's on Amazon Prime. I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10. Watch it; it's incredible.
Yeah, on Amazon Prime. Okay.
Yeah, Prime. Okay. Yeah.
What would you give it out of 10?
9.
9. Oh yeah, 9. I thought you said no. Sorry.
No out of 10.
Oh right. So then, what have I watched? I don't think I've watched, but I read a book.
Okay.
1984.
Oh yeah, right.
Have you read it?
I haven't, but I've read it. I've read extracts from it, and I've heard great things.
Oh, you need to read it's a very dark book, but like the ending of it is just oof. It's like up there to Batman Endgame, you know, in terms of like that.
Oh yeah.
It's like very dark, but like it's just dark. No, just dark. It's just a very weird. It's just like very spooky. Like it's happening today. Like what's going on, and with everything. And George Orwell, he wrote this in 1948, and you know he swapped those numbers around 1984, and he predicted all of this. Like we're gonna have TV screens. We're gonna have like a lot of things as well, like security cameras, everything that is gonna happen, and that the ideologies that was going to happen in the future, like with Cold War, and I believe he made this, like he got inspiration for this, like when from the Cold War, like when America dropped the bomb on Hiroshima, like the Hiroshima bomb, and he got inspiration from that, like writing a book called 1984. And yeah, there's great writing, like really good pieces of writing in it, and it's impressive. It's very interesting to learn about like all of these different countries in their different idea world. Like
it sounded like you just said all these different crunchies, and I just imagined a load of chocolate bars fighting. Just a little insight into my brain there. Continue.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I see what you mean. It's a great book. I give this a 10 out of 10. Like if you're like into reading like sci-fi books or alternate universes books, I recommend it. It's like very scary thing that's happening, and and if you want to read like other like those books that are similar but not quite similar, but like something that you want to read, like of different alternate universes, like that. There's The Man in the High Castle, where the Allies lost World War II, and it's very scary, like how like America was taken over by Japan and by Germany, Nazis. So that's very scary to read. Not too scary, but like it's scary. But I don't want to say interesting, but like something to see that what if that happened. But so I give 1984 a recommendation to me. So yeah, that's it from me from the viewing segment stuff to talk about.
Brilliant. Tom? I have one more thing. I came across this. This isn't actually on YouTube, but I did come across it on YouTube. This is the Princess Bride home video. So this is a recreation of Princess Bride with all the different scenes, all the different characters. So basically scene by scene, all the characters are played by different actors in Hollywood. And let me just tell you, it might be the funniest thing I've ever seen. Now, I love The Princess Bride, right? It's one of my favourite films of all time. I think it's incredible. You know, I can't sing its praises enough. But like, and obviously, like loads of other people love it. It's one of those films that I think it's unanimously loved by so many people. And like the way that they recreate it is incredibly just hilarious. You get so many like, okay, so for example, you get Pedro Pascal plays Inigo Montoya at one point. So does Diego Luna and Javier Bardem. Jack Black plays Wesley, as does Neil Patrick Harris and Paul Rudd. Adam Sandler plays the granddad at the beginning. You know, like even some of the actors from the actual film come back and play parts they didn't play in the original. It was hilarious, and the way that it's made with such like you know, it's like such like low budget, but done in such a in just a hilarious way, and I can't recommend it enough. It's bloody hilarious. If anyone at home, if you've seen The Princess Bride and you want to watch a load of actors do it like so sincerely, but also like in such a funny way, like paying such homages to the original film. Definitely go for give it a watch. It's hilarious. John, I know you've seen The Princess Bride.
Yeah. What's it called? I'm typing it on YouTube now. What's it called?
I think it's just called The Princess Bride Home Video. It's about an hour long, and it's brilliant. It's incredible.
Home Video.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you see it?
3 weeks. Okay. Oh my god. Oh, this is the quarantine celebs quality. Yes.
Yes. Right. Yes.
Oh no! Wait. There's the hour version, but there's the 40-minute version.
The one that is everything is an hour and 7 minutes long.
Oh yeah, I get it. Yep, found it. So
it's brilliant.
I'll be watching that today.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so throw me a text. Tell me what you think of it. It's hilarious. And anyone at home, watch it. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. It's hilarious. Yeah. Taika Waititi plays Wesley at one point. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I can't obviously I don't want to say everything, but the amount of celebrities show up and it's just oh my god, it's brilliant. I love it.
Right, I'll be watching it. I'm pretty excited to watch it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so that'll be it for me from the weekly viewing segment.
Yeah, same for me.
Everything that we covered. If you think we haven't covered something that is something so important to do, comment or email.
Yeah. So as always, leave us a comment or DM us on Twitter or Instagram, or give us a follow. Or no, not follow, but follow as you want. But email us. It's been weeks since we've done an email segment, so I'm not even gonna say we normally do one. We would like to do an email segment, so if you guys would like to email us, please do. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are, and we would definitely read as many of them out as possible. Yeah, thank you for subscribing. If you liked this video, subscribe. If you want to hear our more thoughts on WandaVision throughout the coming weeks, we will be talking about that. All of that stuff. You can give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter at OutstimeFilmPod. Our Gmail is outstimeFilmpod@gmail.com. I am Tom the Boardman on Twitter.
I am on 42 on Twitter.
As always, links in the description below if you want to find us anywhere. And got to say, next week, next week will either be Wonder Woman 1984, so that is up to you, John, if you want to spend £15 on it or not. I get it if you don't, because it's a lot of money. But if not, we'll talk about the upcoming Marvel projects. Back a couple weeks ago when we did the Disney Investors Day, I don't know if anyone remembers watching it, but John got a little bit tired, so we'll watch. So instead, we will talk about all the latest, all the upcoming Marvel stuff, including all the stuff that was announced there, Disney Plus shows and films alike. Again, here in the UK, we're in our third lockdown, stuck in our homes and all that. So I hope everyone's keeping well and, being good to themselves and all that, getting exercise and all that good stuff.
All that jazz.
Anything else to say, John?
No. But yeah, be safe. Don't do anything stupid. Stay in school.
School.
Hugs, not drugs.
Hugs, not drugs. Comedy John, everybody. I was going to call you Poetry John.
Oh, man.
Maybe one day.
But, yeah, thank you for listening. I hope you're doing well. And, yeah, enjoy watching films.
Yeah, we will see you next week. So without further ado, take what you're given.
Give nothing back.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.